Hi, this is Eternal King here, bringing you another LOR video today. So previously I talked about how the only discussion left worth having is how the new champions perform in Eternal. So I want to take a crack at that right now and see what ramp looks like in an Eternal shell for Elder Dragon. And so this is kind of what I came up with as a kind of a very quick and easy rundown. Now, you'll notice that this is going to look very different than standard lists, and that is intentional. Eternal is a very different format, and the way that you build decks is different. So sometimes you'll see, for example, in standard, that people will run Doggo in a ramp list. So Doggo is basically 2 mana Omen Hawk, and it buffs your allies and stuff. This does not make the cut in Eternal, not in a million years. You should never... The whole point of Eternal as a format is that you want to hit your win cons as quickly as possible. You want to hit your big plays as quickly as possible. The way that ramp works right now in Standard is that you kind of get to Broadmain and then you just kind of peter out. Sorry, not Broadmain, Volibear. You get to Volibear and then you just kind of peter out. You don't really know what you're doing with the deck at that point. That's not great. In Eternal, you want to be doing more than just, like, I play Volibear, oh god, do I win? You want to be doing more than that. You're going to assume that the first Volibear isn't going to be enough, so you have to build an actual deck, an actual ramp shell that is going to function outside of Volibear. Even if you hit your Volibear play, you still have to win the game. So let's talk about what you would include in Eternal. Faces of the Old One is absolutely mandatory in terms of a ramp card. It's basically just a better it's just honestly everything you want in a ramp card. It's 2 mana. It lets you kind of hit your plays pretty well. I honestly, even looking at this list now, there are some changes that I would want to make in terms of what I feel comfortable with. So typically you also want to be on Winter's Touch. Okay, Face of the Old One, Invocation of Thunder, Balihir's Prophet. You know, these 3 are must-haves in any Eternal ramp shell, so these are auto-includes. Blighted Ravine is a 3 of. You know, you need some sort of board clear in Eternal. There's just too much Ziggs Poppy running around. Even something like an elusive spam deck, which I'm known to run, is going to feel very powerful. So absolutely, Blighted Ravine, some sort of cheap board clear that also heals you, is going to be pretty necessary. Very necessary, in fact. Winter's Touch, again, there's a very nice thing about this ramp being cheaper than other ramp solutions where you can, you know, Faces the Old One and then Winter's Touch and save mana, and you actually bank more spell mana off of the Winter's Touch cumulatively than you do with other ramp cards. So I think Winter's Touch is kind of a mandatory ramp solution. Also being able to cycle, it's very important. So great card. Basically, I would say that Winter's Touch plus Wild Mysticism are your 2 big ramp spells in any Eternal shell, along with the cycle potential of Invocation of Thunder, and then just, you know, chumping with Valir's Prophet, that sort of thing. Blighted as your AoE. 3 Harsh Winds, 100%. The 5 mana is not going to feel bad for you in a ramp shell. And just being able to take 2 units out of the equation on the attack and the open swing, you're devaluating those open swings is so necessary. Or even if like an Ornn wants to attack you and you're stuck in Freljord, you have no hard removal, so the Harsh Winds is going to be mandatory there. Wild Mysticism, Lord Broadmain, so we are going to use Lord Broadmain Elder Dragon for the cheese, and you'll see that we have the 1 Elder Dragon here. So just pinging for 2, and then healing your Nexus or providing a body to block, like, that's good enough. I don't really need more pings than that to make Lord Broadmain feel playable, because it's so dumb with Elder Dragon. Like, it's such a dumb card into an aggro matchup, right? So just hitting for 2, having a body that sticks there, then potentially playing an It That Stares later, or, you know, the Blighted Ravine. You know, there's some synergy there as well. But mainly it's just like making him stick and messing up your opponent that way. Very strong. Rond the Magma Serpent. So Rond will, in fact, also proc Elder Dragon. And you're also getting the 3 sigils. So again, very strong. You can give it Deathless. You can give it Tough. It just make it very sticky. So the body is going to feel very strong there and also ramp you into your bigger plays. At the stairs that we talked about, we are running the Feel the Rush combo because you always run it in Eternal. And so because of that reason, because tutoring out Elder Dragon with Feel the Rush doesn't feel great, we are running 2 Tryndamirs because that's going to give you the 10-10, which is going to feel a bit better. Also, again, Tryndamere being played and proccing Elder Dragon is going to feel much better than Tryndamere played without Elder Dragon. Because again, you can give him Deathless on top of his level up, which is also kind of Deathless. Or you could potentially heal your Nexus for 2, which might be the difference maker there. You could give him Fearsome. You can do a lot of things. You can just buff his stats a bit. So again, you're going to get a boon there, which is going to feel nice. Challenger. Tryndamere with Challenger. You know, that's pretty good. So that's going to feel fine in Eternal. Volibear is a 3 of, obviously best ramp card. Everyone knows it. One She Who Wanders. Never run a ramp shell without one She Who Wanders. Like, unless you're in Standard, and Standard is literally just board trades all day and open swings. So, like, again, you don't need, like, win cons and stuff. But in Eternal, one She Who Wanders 100% of the time. Such an important tech card that just auto wins games sometimes. One Elder Dragon for his, you know, origin, basically. And yeah, and then the 3 Feel the Rush because, again, getting out the Volibear or Tryndamere, the 20/20 stats for 12 spell mana is always going to be worth it. And then potentially Volibear is going to be leveled and Tryndamere is going to be leveled and blah blah blah, you know. And maybe sometimes Elder Dragon gets to level on very, very rare occasions. Even in this deck, it's going to be very rare. But sometimes you might. There's enough beef here that you can potentially do it sometimes. But yeah, so that's the deck. That's kind of day 0 Elder Dragon in Eternal in terms of how it can be played. But again, there's so much flexibility here. There is so much flexibility. You know, if you feel like the broad main's not getting it done, you know, I kind of feel like maybe Fire Spitter's better. And in fact, I'm going to run Fire Spitter because that's going to be turbo level the Elder Dragon more, because you have to attack with the big stats and the Challenger potentially 2 for 1ing. So I think Fire Spitter is going to feel better here. So again, this is, you know, this is how I kind of approach my deck builds. You guys know me. I'm always tweaking and things like that. But yeah, Broad Main is going to feel strong, but with the lack of pings, I'd rather just be on Fire Spitter, just a bigger card. And then, of course, you get the Elder Dragon boon on Fire Spitter. So that's going to be kind of dumb as well. That's going to feel very dumb. So yeah, that's just better. That's just better than Broad Main. Does the same thing, bigger stats, challenges. So yeah, it's on 6 mana, and you're ramping into it. So damn, that's going to come down fast. Oh man, this is feeling really good now. Oh boy. Yeah, I would say that this is day 0, Elder Dragon in Eternal, and already nuts. Feel the Rush, great card. She Wanders, great card. Volibear, Tryndamere, At the Stairs, Rond, because again, you play Rond, and then you just get like cumulative discounts, and you have the Dragon Boon. Enraged Fire Spitter, yep. So, you know, that's cool. This is a cool deck. So yeah, give it a shot if you want. This is day 0 Elder Dragon and kind of how I think it should run. But you know, it's cool. Again, Eternal is just so much more fun, right? Like the best Elder Dragon deck in Standard is like Nora blah 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 blah, right? But no, in Eternal I can actually run like a ramp shell with Elder Dragon and have it be really good. And run and range Fire Spitter and Feel the Rush and stuff. So that's going to feel much better. Much bigger plays, much bigger swings, much bigger win cons, more Volibear flips, stuff like that. But yeah, give it a shot and let me know what you think. This is Eternal King signing out for today.